Hey, I'm Yoad. Welcome to my studio. In 2016, Microsoft hired me to recreate the entire music and sound design for the Skype line. That means across all platforms, all operating systems, all devices. That was a huge undertaking. At its heyday, Skype had 1.8 billion registered users and 300 million monthly calls. And all came out of this session. This is insane. Microsoft is a technology company, but Skype is all about communication and connection. So the brand identity had to be inviting, warm, human, but at the same time cutting edge and modern. This was quite a challenge because the Skype ringtone is musical. At the same time, it has to cut through background noise and to grab the user's attention. And after all, it's a ringtone, so it has to have that kind of phone ringing element embedded within the music. Apart from the ringtone, I had to create all the other sonic elements: call answered, call declined, message sent, message received, error message, and all these different elements. The way I approached it was to go into the live room and start hitting everything there. I have a nice collection of percussion instruments, but I also used mic stands, chairs, guitars, strumming stuff, playing recorder, scraping cymbals, and I prepared a large bank of organic sounds because I wanted to combine these with the electronic kind of more blippy and sound designy elements to create something which is very effective so that it cuts through background noise. It's very modern, distinct, and kind of high-techy, but at the same time has some organic elements that people can relate to emotionally. I'm going to walk through some of the experiments I made along the way. This is the session. Quite a lot of regions here. And let's start with the ringtone. So the ringtone that was eventually selected was this. But it all started with something that I wanted to be more piercing. So we had that. We had this one, which is slightly more softer. We had this one. So many different variations until we got the one that everyone was happy with. So I wanted to have that kick, which will give it some sort of urgency. At the same time, since it was going to be mainly produced on iPads, phones, laptops, I didn't want to use bass because I didn't want to have any low frequencies in that ringtone because I didn't want to occupy the space and take the energy and headroom out of these tiny speakers. I wanted something that will be most effective and appropriate for these small speakers so it can be played very loud. And then I started playing with different moods. So in all of them, there's this electronic underlying element in the background, which tells us that it's still very technological, cutting-edge platform that allows us to speak to anyone around the globe. But it has to have this inviting and human element. Some more examples. More acoustic, but still the piano is very sharp. Here the melody is more hinted rather than being prominent. More electronic, emphasizing the kind of technology vibe. And here I incorporated actual ringtones within the ident. And I use the ringtones like classic phone ringtones in a melodic way, so it will fit with the chord progression. Now these are all the elements for connecting a call, sending a message, call declined, error message, and all these different noises. Error messages. Many different variations. Here you can hear the percussion elements very clearly. These are some of the samples I made. Just many different sounds to have a lot of options to play with. It was fun to do, I have to admit. Here I actually did some pops and some whistles that I incorporated into the idents. And these are all electronic. From the world of communication and data. More elements here. Many different sounds. For these sounds, I used Waves Element. The Element is a very capable synthesizer, which I think is a bit underrated. I was part of the design team at Waves when we created this beautiful synthesizer. Guy Rotem was the main designer, and alongside with Amir Vinci, the three of us were responsible for this project. This is one preset that shows the capabilities of Element. I called it Angry Dolphin. Element has a very flexible matrix. So here I can modulate parameters, but I can also modulate modulators. If I want to create a simple electronic ringtone, I can take a square wave, and then I can modulate the pitch using a square wave to get something like this. But now I can take another modulator and modulate the rate of the first LFO, for instance. So suddenly I'm creating a more complex sound, which goes into audio frequencies as well. Now I can take the third LFO and have it modulating the pitch as well. And if I give it a random waveform, a bit of delay, we have a very interesting sound in seconds. I can also use the arpeggiator Anyway, doing all the music and sound design for Skype was a very cool project. It was a lot of fun, and I'm very proud of it because millions and millions of people used it every day for years. So that's my mark on the telecommunication industry, I guess. In May 2025, Skype has been retired, and it's now part of the Microsoft Teams platform. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do, and I'll see you on the next one.